ATN World News. News and inspiration with Leah Tillock.
Hello and welcome to ATN World News. I'm Leah, and it's great to be with you, the listeners around the world. Well, everybody is on the edge of their seats. Here in the U.S., it's election time. A lot of controversy, a lot of heavy things going on. And my guest in the studio today is Leah Marzulli, and you will know Leah as an author, a lecturer, a filmmaker, host of his own TV show. He does a lot of investigations. He's on the trail of the Nephilim. You've probably seen him on the History Channel. But today, Leah is going to be giving some great insight into the election going on. Good evening, Leah. Thanks for being with us.
It's great to be here, Leah. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Why don't you share with our listeners the whirlwind that we call the election, and it's rigged, obviously, and you'd have to be totally way blind not to see it. Go ahead and share, Leah.
Well, it's absolutely incredible when we really look back at what's going on. I'm dumbfounded. The fact that we have this media, our media in the United States, is completely complacent, in the tank with the Clinton campaign. Newspapers all around the country, reporters all around the country. All you hear is Trump's sexual allegation, one crude remark from 11 years ago. Okay, that's it. That's what they've got. And some weasel has to come out of the backwoods to tell us about that. And frankly, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. The guy could have been egged on. And I'm not justifying his behavior, but the guy ain't perfect, and nothing else is sticking. Look at his kids. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton is all over the map. You've got Benghazi. You've got allegations from even Yoko Ono, who stated that decades earlier she had an affair with Clinton. Now, breaking news, Hillary Fixer breaks ranks. This guy apparently arranged sex trysts for Hillary Clinton. Look, the bottom line is this. When you look at Clinton's emails, 30,000 of them, and her famous line is, "I don't remember." That's what she uses for everything. That gets her out of actually having to say anything that might incriminate her. The fact that she's even running for office at all, and she can actually stand there on a platform and tell us that somehow everything's going to be hunky-dory is beyond the pale. And if she gets in, I just got to warn people this, if she gets in, it's the death of the middle class. Here's why. There are millions of Americans, first of all, out of work, like 92 million people. The real rate of unemployment in this country rivals what we went through with the Great Depression. It's up around 30%. Unprecedented. Obamacare, total disaster. Total disaster. And of all the things Obama could try to do to help this country, what does he focus on? Transgender bathrooms. I mean, are you kidding me? This is it? Transgender bathrooms that affects less than 1% of our population, where 92 million people are out of the workforce. I mean, it's so upside down. It's so topsy-turvy. It's absurd. And the fact that he can sit there and point to Trump and say that somehow Trump isn't qualified, where this man is, to the best of my knowledge, has never employed anyone, has never actually created anything in his entire life, as far as I know. Now, he's good at legislating, he's good at raising taxes, he's good at a bigger government, and that's what politicians do. Jefferson once stated, "A government is best that governs least." And I'm all for that. The bottom line is this, Leah. In this country, most Americans are paying close to 45% in taxes. Think about that. 45% of your income goes to taxes. Between federal, state, property taxes, what's left for you and me? And this is the deal. If you want to look what's going on with socialism, which is what Obama wants, and Clinton will definitely continue, look at Venezuela. The country is in complete and utter chaos. Gangs rule the streets. There's no food. The basic services are cut off. Why? Because socialism doesn't work. It never has worked. It didn't work for the communist Russians, and it won't work in Venezuela, and it certainly won't work here. If Clinton gets in, she will raise taxes. It's as simple as that. And the American people, all other issues off the table. Let's just look at this one first. And that's what my blog was on this morning, lamarzulli.wordpress.com. Go there, read it for yourself. With 45% of our income now being paid between state and federal and state, and property taxes, what's left for you and me? Not much. And what that equates to is almost 5 months out of the year, you and me are working for the government. And that's absolutely wrong. It's absolutely upside down and wrong. Trump, on the other hand, is saying, let's cut taxes down to 15%. You know what? And he's right about this, because I'm a small businessman. I have a publishing company. It's called Spiral of Life Publishing. And you know what? Under the Obama administration, it's hard for us to do anything. It's hard for us to create new products or bring people on. Why? Because the money that I would do that with is going to the federal government or to the state government. And so I don't have as much money to spread around my business and keep it afloat. In fact, in 2015, I had to borrow money to keep it, not keep it afloat, but to do the things because the cash flow wasn't there. Because we basically gave our profits to the federal government. And that's what the problem is. Trump wants to limit the taxes, which is exactly what we should do. 15%, and what it really should be is a 15% flat tax. Everybody pays 15%, and that's it. From the rich to the poor to the corporations, that's it. Hillary, if she gets in, we will have abortions on demand, including, more than likely, she will try to reinstate partial birth abortion. She will extend the time into the third trimester, well into the 9 months. She will appoint Supreme Court justices who are absolutely liberal and to the left of Judge Sotomayor. This is where we are at. And frankly, it'll be the ruination of the country as we know it. There will be no more middle class. Open borders will allow millions more illegal immigrants. And of course, the illegals will have free stuff from the government, which assures them to vote Democratic. This election is about the life of the United States continuing into the next century. If Trump is not elected, and I mean this, if Trump is not elected, we will see no end to government spending, to more legislation, to open borders, to the advent of the New World Order. That's what's at stake here, Leah. And people better wake up and understand that we only have one candidate, and this guy ain't perfect, but neither is anybody else who's ever been there. You know, and the media could go after Clinton, but they don't. They don't. You know, the fact that Yoko Ono surfaced last week and stated that years ago she had a sexual encounter with Hillary Clinton, and now this breaking story comes out. It's on the Drudge Report, where this woman was hired, and basically this guy arranged trysts for Hillary Clinton and helped cover it up. So, you know, isn't it interesting that Trump makes a statement 11 years ago, and then these people come out like they always do. They try to find someone, he groped me. Well, no, he didn't grope you. It's a he said, she said. But the media plays on it and plays on it and plays on it. They never say anything about Hillary, but they'll say it over and over and over again. Look, the last debate, I sat there with my mouth on the ground, ready to throw something at my television set. I was so incensed. The fact that it wasn't a debate, it was basically 3 against 1. The two moderators who were there were, at one point, the woman, I forget her name, started yelling at Trump and debating him, going, well, that's not the way, you know, things go. I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable. The fact that this woman started debating Donald Trump. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I am outraged. And I think you can tell the passion in my voice and the fact that I am hot under the collar, because Obama stands up today and goes, well, you know, Trump is he's just crying foul because he's losing in the polls. Fine. You know, right now, we don't know what the polls are really saying. LA Times put Trump up 1%, or 2%. Rasmussen put Hillary up by 1. So it's essentially a tie, a statistical tie at this point. We know from history that elections can be rigged. And the fact that Trump is stating that, he's right. Look, Carly Fiorina, when she was running for president on the Republican ticket, when she finally stepped down, she said, look, The whole game is rigged. You know what? She's right. It was always, and I wrote about this months and months and months ago. The election in 2016 was always about two people, two houses of royalty in America, the House of Bush and the House of Clinton. Jeb Bush was supposed to run against Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter who gets in. It doesn't matter. Business as usual. This is why these Republicans like John McCain, Boehner, Mitch McConnell, and Speaker Ryan, they all have to go. They all have to go. They're part of the problem. They're all Washington elites and insiders, and they hate Donald Trump. Why? Because he's going to come in, he's going to kick butt, and he's going to expose the absolute cancerous underbelly of the Washington political establishment, which is nothing more than a good old boy network, cronyism, and these guys that retire with, 6-figure salaries every single year. I mean, it's absolutely, it's beyond the pale. And the American people need to wake up and understand what's at stake here. Look, the fact that WikiLeaks was cut off today, I mean, you don't think that that's deliberate? Of course it's deliberate. Absolutely fricking all day long deliberate. They went after this guy because he was leaking information they don't want the American people to know. This is right out of George Orwell. It really is, except it's worse because we're living in it. We're living in it, Leah, and it's absolutely, unless the American people stand up, and in fact, they were already doing it. At the one Trump rally, they were booing the media. They were all yelling, "Tell the truth, tell the truth." And of course, the media doesn't tell the truth, and this is why we are where we are.
I agree with you, Elaine. I think there's a lot of people out there passionately upset for the very reasons that you have stated. When we talked about rig, I'd like to make a couple of points to the listening audience. People who have been closely involved with the Clintons say to watch out for yellow buses at election points and expose them, contact the authorities on them, because they're known to pick up a busload of people from the ghetto, have several different T-shirt colors, different colors. They'll go in and vote under one dead person's name, come back to the bus, change their T-shirt, go in and vote. And they'll end up voting 10 to 12 times at each precinct, and then they go on to another one. And people, keep your eyes out to be alert at the precincts to report things. We've got to fight for this because there is cheating and rigging going on. And, of course, the video that has surfaced just recently of the behind-the-scenes things from the wicked Hillary campaigners, they're going, well, let's just go and start trouble at Trump's campaign, and let's just do this. And they're caught on tape, and nothing is being done about it. I mean, L.A., really, come on.
And nothing is being done about it because the media is in the tank. If this were a Republican, any Republican, doing the things that Hillary Clinton, the media would be blasting this 24/7. I mean, we are looking at some really egregious faults here by Miss Clinton. The fact that we've got the debacle in the Middle East, this all happened when she was Secretary of State. Then we've got the Benghazi. And, frankly, it's a classic wag the dog. But the media won't bring that up. The fact that the Obama administration pinned the violence, which, by the way, was on the anniversary of 9/11. Hello. What's so hard on that it was a spontaneous demonstration due to a anti-Muslim propaganda film. Absolute poppycock. Classic wag the dog. They just concocted a story. They're all sitting there laughing. You want to know something, Leah? In my opinion, Obama didn't get bin Laden. Bin Laden was dead for years. Years ago he died. And that's what you look at what happened to Prime Minister Bhutto. She was gunned down in Pakistan because she said on the record that bin Laden died in Iraq years before. The whole thing was a joke. Just like the Rainbow White House on the Supreme Court telling us that somehow gay marriage is the law of the land, that the Supreme Court ruling by judicial fiat once again. The whole game is rigged. The Constitution's a joke. Our government is completely in the tank. It's the Bilderbergs, it's the Soroses of the world, It's the New World Order. And we got one shot to fix it, and it's Donald J. Trump. And you know something? Don't come whining to me when Hillary starts going after the guns, because that's what she'll do, guaranteed. By some sort of executive order, she will try to round up the guns. And why are they doing this? Because they know they can never bring about the one world government as long as Americans are armed. They can't do it because there'll be a bloodbath, and they know that. They know that. And all you got to do is to see what gun control does. Look at Chicago. Gun-free zone. Murder capital of the world, folks, right there. And that should hang around both Obama and Hillary Clinton.
I agree. It's mind-boggling. It's unbelievable what's going on. But, you know, it's the New World Order. It's the globalist agenda. And most people in the world do not want a globalist agenda. During this election cycle, I saw my alternative news site, ATN World News, you listen to now, I saw it go way through the roof and increase followers. And a huge percent was from France, of all places, France. So I looked up some of the recent news articles in France, and I saw that they had a 500,000 march for conservatism. They want a conservative leader. They don't want a globalist in charge. Neither does Britain, neither does the majority of people in America, but they've got their claws. The New World Order, the globalists have their claws in the mainline media, and like you said, the mainline media today is a joke. So people are looking online, you know, for truth and news. Which leads me to another quick question that I'd really like to get your opinion about. Hillary is going to bring in another Obama session to finish off, just polish off America. Obama's done so much to destroy us, and she wants to finish it. She'll probably want to try it with bringing in a World War III. A lot of people talking about the possibility of what she will do with Russia and all. Can you give us your opinion on that, L.A.?
I got to tell you that ancient biblical texts warn of, at the last days, this war between, and there's a group of nations listed. Russia is Gog, Magog, Turkey, Meshach, Tubal, and Togarmah, which is modern-day Turkey. Obviously Iran, which is called Persia, but it is Iran. And other countries, that's what's forming, in my opinion. We're looking at liaisons between these countries, which are already established, which weren't there a decade ago. The Russians and the Turks have never been, you know, real happy with one another, and now the Iranians are in there. Those nations are listed, by the way, with great specificity in the Ezekiel 38 passage. And they go up against a land of unwalled villages, i.e. Israel. And we can debate whether it's now or it's future. I mean, obviously it's future, but we look at what's going on in the Middle East, and anything can happen. The bottom line is this, that America is enervated under 8 years of Obama. This is why the generals are backing Trump, because they know that many strategic generals and strategic military people were basically fired by the Obama administration. And of course, nobody said word one about this because the media doesn't do anything. In other words, they'll make sure that you know everything about Bruce Jenner's sex change. You'll know every nuance about that, but you'll know nothing that really affects your life, like the state of our military, the fact that Afghanistan is going on 16 years, the fact that Afghanistan produces $1 trillion worth of opium. Where the heck does that money go? Good luck with that. The fact that the Middle East is an absolute quagmire, that genocide is being practiced by ISIS all throughout the Middle East, and that ISIS, unlike our president informs us was the JV team, is actually the varsity team and is kicking butt and taking names. Now, look, the battle for Aleppo reminds me of something out of World War II, Dresden. There's not going to be anything left of the city. Damascus has become a ruinous heap, at least the surrounding areas. The city proper, apparently, according to the sources that I've been talking to, seems to have been, for the most part, is intact. But a portion of it, at least a third of it, is gone. So that's another biblical prophetic text, specifically Isaiah, guy who lived about 2,500 years ago, was one of the prophecies. Damascus has become a ruinous heap. In my opinion, that's never happened. And here we are in modernity, looking at these things take place. Look, it is very tenuous right now with Russia. And part of it is Russia, China, the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, have coalesced and are trying to establish a new global currency, which is not the U.S. petrodollar. We are $22 trillion in debt. A lot of that debt is picked up by the Chinese. It's all paper. It's all fiat currency. If the Chinese call the debt, now what? And so the BRICS nations are trying to set up a new global currency, and this is what the tension is. And the West is backing the Sunni branch of Islam, which is Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and others. And Russia, China, and the BRICS nations, by the way, are backing the Shia branch of Islam, which is basically the Iranians. That's the largest bloc of Shia. But it also extends into what's called the Shia Crescent, which goes from Syria over to Iran and out to the Houthis, which are now in Yemen. So we see that World War III, and I've been blogging about this, by the way, Leah, for months. These are the beginnings of World War III. This is the connectivity. This is the genesis of World War III. We're right here. It's happening right here. And one of the scenarios, which is certainly plausible, if we get into a major war, will there be an election? And that's something to think about. That's really something to think about.
I know that Obama is really poking the Russian bear in the eye. I mean, he'd like nothing better than to declare martial law and keep himself president. We know this, or at least try and get something going before Trump may win and get in. I think he has the majority of votes, but there's so much cheating and so much rigging and all. And he had to do his campaign from a point of view that there is cheating, there is stealing, and so the news is bought. So, I mean, to come as far as he has is incredible. And I believe the majority of people overwhelmingly in America do want Trump in. We need to be in prayer, people. We need to repent before God as a nation. We need to get serious because this is it. What LA said is we're living it. Before we used to hear of Bible prophecy, it was always just around the corner, but we're here. We're around the corner. It can't get much worse without us being taken out of here, the believers in a rapture. But we're going to be held accountable for what we did and didn't do. And I beseech the followers I know he's not right with everything. I know he's a flawed man, but honestly, people, the alternative is Hillary Clinton, who one of her aides who served her, Nicholas, he claims she went to her witchcraft meetings every month out in California, flew out to them. She's a dedicated Satanist. She's a globalist. She's going to polish us off. In all honesty, you can't just let this happen to your country. I pray that you go out and vote. I know he's flawed in areas, but he wants a lot better for America than what Hillary does, and I hope you cast your vote for Trump. L.A., in closing, is there anything you'd like to say to cap off everything?
Well, I got to tell you, Leah, we are at a crossroads here. We really are. We are at a crossroads. And unless, Christians out there get off their high horse and, look at the man's foibles, who amongst us is without sin here? I mean, who of us hasn't screwed up somewhere? Are you kidding me? And, of course, the media just keeps bashing him. Get out and vote for the Donald, because that's our only hope, folks. He actually is a businessman. He's actually done something. He's created things. He's employed thousands of people. Clinton has never done anything. She's lived off the public dole her entire life. Wake up. Start doing something. Be proactive. Cast your vote.
Thank you so much, L.A., for being with us today and sharing your wisdom on two very important issues facing the American people right now, possibility of World War III and the upcoming elections. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks, Leah. God bless you, too.